fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're just freaked out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here. And now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Deku. And well, quite a bit of things have happened for him. Now, during the finals for the sports festival, Deku, he had to intervene between Bakugo and Todoroki. If the two, their attacks did collide, there is a massive chance that a lot of people in the stands would have been injured. And because whenever Deku did intervene, President Mike says something stupid, people do believe that Deku is a part of the UA staff. And many of them, they do put that up to his involvement with the USJ, along with what President Mike did say. Now, there was a meeting held after the sports festival, and it was decided that Deku, he will be joining UA staff as the head of security. Now then, because of this decision, it would paint UA in a more positive limelight. The head of security stepped in, and with the, team of All Might and him, were able to make sure students were protected, along with the pro heroes who did show up at the USJ later on in the day. So, Principal Nezu and many UA teachers, they have all agreed to this. There's not really too much Deku could do as a teacher. However, as the head of security, he can just continue doing whatever he wants. He has free reign to walk around campus now. Along with that, he can actually exercise more and more regularly. Instead of his morning runs, he can go for an afternoon one or even a midday evening run now. Which Deku, he does want to start doing more. Now, this will overall help increase Deku's training. Along with that, now that he doesn't really have to hide himself in UA, he doesn't have to really bother with hiding his face or his identity. Now, we do actually have today, where Deku, he's actually walking around the hallways. Many of these second year and third year students do see him, and Deku's, he's heading right for Class 1A. Now, today's students are picking their hero names, and many of them, they're still trying to decide. As the door does open and Deku does look to see Miss Midnight. Now, everybody, they do immediately look towards Deku. And Deku, he does just look dull and at least not really phased. Bakugo Katsuki, I'd like to speak with you. Now, everybody do look towards Bakugo. This guy knows Bakugo, and from what they all know, this is his childhood friend. So what's about to happen? Now, Bakugo does suddenly stand, walking over and following Deku. As the two, they do actually go around the corner, and Deku does at least talk to Bakugo. So it's been a minute. Yeah, Izuku, are you okay? No, I'm not. I can't get through to my mother. I can't talk to my father. My home is empty, and, well, I am dying of a brain condition. So, you tell me. Dude, I'm sorry. It's just... What happened to you? The quirks, everything. Like, you just were in a coma one day. I thought you'd be asleep forever. Yeah, we should talk about that. I'm able to use multiple quirks, as you can tell. Yeah, I know. I saw whenever you left your house one day, and you kind of just leaped off. Oh, you saw me that day. Yeah. So, How is it? I don't know. I just woke up and they were there. I unlocked Black Whip whenever I tried to pick up my remote and it just flew out of my hand. I discovered I could fly whenever I was asleep and I woke up. I landed on the floor. And, well, many of my other quirks, they're kinda just popping up. Oh, so the smoke screen I unlocked whenever I was, well, somewhat startled by something. Whenever that popped up, I discovered that quirk. And I do at least have two more right now. Jesus. So, what exactly? There's more than that. Along with my fire quirk, I also do possess a strength quirk. Or an enhancement quirk. I don't know. Dude, that's too many. Are you gonna be able to handle it? I don't know. The whole thing about it is, I'm not exactly too sure. My life's a bit different now. And, well, UA, they've offered me help. They believe that because of my powers, I'm not really a liability as a person, but I'm in danger. Really? So, Mitsuki's worried about you. But what could be a danger to you? I know. I can't tell you, but be aware. I can handle it. Now, Deku to just walk back over to the classroom, opening the door as Bakugo does go to walk back in. Now, everybody they do stare at Bakugo. As Bakugo, he just does sit there at his desk without even really going to write a hero name. Now, we do actually have Deku, who he does head the general or the, what is it, support course classes. Now, Deku he would walk in, and he does look around the classroom to see that a lot of things have somewhat changed. From what he can tell, the equipment may have gotten a bit of an upgrade. Along with that, there's David Shield and Mei Hatsume, who are both in the classroom. Now, Deku would go to walk over. As the moment David does turn his head and see Deku, he does immediately go to grab something off the desk. Izuku, good timing. Now, everyone they do turn their head after they hear his name. That's the guy. Now, David Shield does hand something over to Deku. As Deku does look down at it. What is this? It's a special device. Now, Deku does look down at it. Now, the best way to describe what this thing does look like. The quirk enhancement device David Shield did make, picture that. However, this is not what it's used for. Now, David does talk about how this device here will help monitor Deku's brainwaves, and that he would like Deku to wear it at least as much as possible. Okay, but why? It's somewhat easy. You've told me yourself that you have dreams, or your dreams are somewhat jumbled sometimes, correct? Yes. Okay, I've gotten partial readings of your episodes. However, if I can get readings of your dreams and find out what part of your brains are active, that can help me a lot. Melissa's told me about something as well. I've got many of my colleagues looking over and studying it themselves. All of Island, they're fascinated by this idea. And many of them are wondering if it's possible, though. But there are some concerns about it. I understand, David, but okay, just hear me out. We need to know if it's even remotely good. We've asked permission for the Nomu, but that thing's being held in Tartarus. I see. And getting it transferred is difficult. I see. So, if All Might were to show up and talk about it or transfer it, do you think they would allow it? I'm not too sure. However, it doesn't technically need to be alive to study. Hmm? Yes, we believe that taking it out and studying its corpse would be the best option. We would need to open it up and figure out how it works anyways. For medical reasons, of course, and to study it a bit more and learn its inner workings and exactly how it's been tampered with compared to regular human DNA, but okay, I get the idea, David, but the Nomu? Yes, it's the best sample we have. Along with it, it does show exactly what we could find. Every single piece of DNA in the world. It has its own unique signature. If we can find out exactly how it's differentiated between human and experimented Nomu, it can help us make a leap and jumpstart our research by years. Hmm. Okay. Well, let me see what Nezu can do. Perfect. Okay, and I might have to supervise the transfer, however. That's perfectly fine. It's just we need it. Now, with that, Deku he will go to leave the support course room. As he's out his as he's on his way out the door, you actually have where Deku he does go to call Nezu. Now, Deku is walking down the hallway with his phone in his hand. Yeah, Mr. Nezu? Yes, this is Izuku Midoriya. I'd like to tell you that apparently for David Cho's research, they're requesting the body of the Nomu. Um, are you sure that that is a good idea? Well, they aren't requesting it alive is the thing. Oh, I see. But it is in Tartarus. I understand that. They would like to research it though. The state all for one was in whenever I saw him. They believe that they can put me in a similar state, if that does make sense. Hmm? Exactly what do you speak of? Well, they would like to see if they can enhance my body. Hmm? I see. But would this be a good idea? I don't exactly know, but I'd like to understand. This being where Deku he does this, someone freeze. And Nezu he does try to get Deku's attention on the other end of the line. Hello? Hello? Izuku? No. Nezu does just pull his phone away from his head. Okay, the call is still going. Now, Nezu does quickly stand up, realizing exactly what happened. Now, Nezu does start to run down the hallway. As we have, as we do actually have Deku frozen. He's just standing there still as if he was frozen in time, his phone up to his ear. And he's not moving. As you do actually currently have in the past, where Yoshi is listening to the doctor's advice. He's spent some time at home with his brother, and his brother he has been leaving the house to go to therapy, as I'll put it. Now, Yoshi he's noticed that his brother's kind of improving. He doesn't really seem to be all that different, if you could put it that way. His brother's not as openly showing exactly what's wrong with him. Now, Yoichi believes that the counselor or therapist that Seisho's going to, has been helping him out quite a bit. However, in truth, that is not what's happening. We do actually cut to Seiso or All for One's point of view. He does leave the house to go to therapy. However, whenever he does actually arrive, the therapist does inform Seisho about a certain little field trip that they are going to be going on. Now, she would take him out to certain places. Or, well, places where people they do know all for one. Now, she does manipulate him, get him to do things and take abilities from people. Now, The therapist does know that often he's taken quirks from violent people. And these people, they've been through very, very bad experiences. However, with her own little bit of knowledge, she's looked at a few of her own patients who do have quirks. She's been rehabilitating them and getting them into better mental conditions. And she does whisper Seisho to take their quirks. If she is correct, this will put him on a bit of a positive part of the spectrum. Now, she doesn't want All-For One to be too unstable. Otherwise, he might bite the hand that does feed him. Now, All-For One, he would have taken the quirks of a few kids, along with absorbing parts of their memories and parts of their, well, subconscious. Now, this does somewhat balance All-For One and give the positive reinforcement that he believes that he is getting. Now, the counselor, she does continue to do this. She's slowly trying to build a name for herself. And by manipulating this crazy psychopath, it will work. Now, she herself does wish for a quirk. And she believes that she does deserve one. All her life growing up, people have shown these strange and bizarre powers. However, she is normal. It's driven her mad. The simple idea that it's not really your choice whether or not you have a quirk, it's pissing her off. She's seen how people with these powers they are treated. However, that's wrong. These people have actual physical powers, yet they're looked down upon. It makes no sense to her. Now, we do actually come back to Deku, where he actually does somewhat snap out of it and go to sit up. My head. Now, Deku does look around really quickly. Where the hell am I? Is this a nurse's office? Now, we do actually have where Deku does go to stand up. And as he does so, you do actually have where he does finally he's connected to certain equipment, along with that device on his head. Now, you do actually have where somebody they do come running into the room. Izuku. Now, this would be David Shield and Melissa, as David does ask him if he's alright. Huh? I'm okay. What happened? You have no recollection. Not really. I was talking with Nezu. That's the last thing I really remember. I see. Do you know how many fingers I'm holding up? Deku looking up. 2? Okay, good. Now, David he does try to do a lot of tests on Midoriya to see if everything is alright. Find that it's at least mostly in order. Now, David he does sit down and tell Midoriya that he kind of startled him. He kind of did startle everybody. What do you mean? Well, first of all, you were frozen for more than a few minutes. Frozen? Your episode. You know how you talk about they quickly last and they quickly disappear? Yeah? Well, you were frozen for about an hour. What? An hour? Was I really sitting still that long? Yes, that is the concern. Many students they did see you, and many of them were quite surprised. They thought that you were faking it until Nezu came running up. And then All Might did have to come pick you up. What? Yes, it was quite the spectacle. Many people there are wondering if you yourself are okay. So, we're not really too sure what to say. However, there is some good news. We did get a bit of data. Do you remember what you were seeing, looking at? Uh, the past? I just remember talking to Seisho. He was going to therapy, and afterwards we were going to talk and have lunch. He came back, and he seemed okay. In fact, he seemed like he was in a better mood than the previous morning. Then we had lunch, and we did somewhat just talk. It was actually nice. Really? What did you two talk about? Well, hmm, that's weird. It's fuzzy, but I remember him talking about what they should do for the future. Really now? Yeah, it's weird. I remember I was talking about just trying to coexist. It seemed like he had similar ideas, but now that I think about it, he wasn't thinking that way at all. The way he was talking about it was like he was talking about putting regular people together and separating them from society, using them as a farm for people with quirks. Really now? A bit? I think that's it, but I'm not too sure. It doesn't make sense though. No. Deku, the Deku he was going to try and stand up. Melissa actually going to bring her hands up and step forwards. Her putting them on Deku's chest as she's going to push him back down to the bed. You need to stay lying down. Oh, Melissa, get your hands off me. Really? Why should I? I have to work out and get back to work. Really? From what I understand, you took down something as strong as All Might. Yet right now, me, a normal person, am holding you down. Do you really believe you're in the best condition to do that? Really? If I was in no condition to do that, could I be doing this? What are you doing? Cartwheels? Am I not doing them? No. Oh, then why is the room spinning? Okay, that's not too good. No. Melissa should just go to bring her hands up and go to walk over to the sink, where she has to get Deku a glass of water. Now, David is going to stand up talking about how he has to talk to somebody about that transfer for the Nomu. This being when David he does go to leave. As Melissa would walk back over and go to set a straw in the cup. As just tell Deku that he needs to drink and stay hydrated. Oh, thanks. No. Deku does somewhat go to lean up, as he does sip from the straw and look at Melissa. So, exactly what's going on? Hmm? What do you mean? Well, I mean, with your research, did you guys come up with anything? Oh, we're trying. That's just it. It's a more complicated process than we thought. We're manipulating human DNA. And even then, I myself am tech, not biological. However, I'm starting to understand it. I've used my own blood to try and look over how normal DNA looks. However, I think for yours it would be a bit different. Hmm? But why are you looking over normal DNA? Hmm? Oh, to understand the basics. But shouldn't you try looking over the nose? Well, that is true, yes, but there's a bit of a problem. We need the Nomu first. Oh, just take some of my blood then. Really? I mean, yeah. you can see how it's different from a normal person's, right? Or anyone else's, for that matter. Afterwards, you can compare it to the Nomus. And if I do see my brother again, maybe I can ask him for help. About that, he seemed to be a bit less villainous from what I saw. Hmm, I know what you mean. Whenever I was pinned to the wall, I half expected a spike to get driven through my neck. The fact that it didn't shows I have his interest. Yeah, I'm just curious. Do you think? Never mind. Hmm? What is it? Don't worry about it. But I'm kind of surprised. Hmm? What? You have a lot more muscles than I thought. Now, Deku does his turn his head towards Melissa, as she has someone go to bring her hand up and cover her mouth. She just said that out loud. Now, Deku does someone start to laugh, as most of her faces turn red. Oh man, that's so embarrassing. Jeez, I didn't realize muscles were your thing. Hmm? Why? I expected it to be a bit of a big brain, you know? Well, you shouldn't really go thinking about people's standards. Hmm? No, I wasn't thinking about people's standards, I was thinking about yours. Hmm? Why is that? You're a strong, smart, intelligent woman. Along with that, you are very capable. You have enough money and funding for if anything you want to do, you create things, and whenever you put your mind to something, you're very determined. Just like your Uncle All Might. Now, should have just stared down at Deku. Wow. Uh, that's. Hmm. That's the first time a guy complimented her brain and not her face. Along with that, he spoke so highly of her. Uh, thank you. Hmm? Don't worry about it. Now, Melissa does go to stand. She just told Deku that he does need to rest. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. To have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.